What's going on YouTube? My name is Trey Kepsel and this is Elk Motorsports. In this video, I'm going to bring y'all two products from Zuks Offroad, the Brass Shifter Sheet and the Zuks Offroad Siamese Twin Stick. On the left is the Zuks Offroad Siamese Twin Stick for the Suzuki Samurai stock transfer case, and I have the Brass Shifter Sheet for the stock Suzuki Samurai transfer case shifter. The Suzuki Samurai Twin Stick, which you use to get a double low range on the stock Suzuki Samurai transfer case and a true neutral for better flat towing. It does require modifying the stock Suzuki Samurai transfer case by removing the center detent ball, which I'll show you in an exploded view of where it is. And I have another video where I rebuild a transfer case and I'll actually install this and I show you how to get that out. And on the right hand side, the Brass Shifter Sheet is actually an upgrade to get rid of the stock polyurethane, rubber, whatever material it's made out of shifter sheet, which doesn't involve actually even needing to remove the transfer case from the vehicle to replace. So this twin stick is actually really cool. It is actually a one-of-a-kind single body design. The twin sticks are actually housed in this billet aluminum housing that has a bottom retainer ring, as you can see right here, this cutaway, and a 180 degrees this other cutaway. Inside the shifter housing of the transfer case, there's two detent pins that lock in here. This bottom piece actually comes off. Use an Allen key and you actually remove two Allen screws that will drop this bottom ring out, and you actually drop this in your transfer case. Much like the Brass Shifter Sheet, it's kind of got a very similar design. It's got these cutaways that you'll drop down in. This one you don't have to orientate any particular way, but this one you'll take it and you'll orient it. You'll twist it like a quarter of the way, and then you'll drop this down into it with the corresponding cutouts, and then you'll put the Allen keys back in it to lock it down. And it has an O-ring to prevent fluid from coming out. Another really cool thing about this twin stick, it comes with its own molded double boot that slides over and makes use of the stock groove to hold in the stock rubber boot. You can put this in. This is something, as far as I know, is only offered by Zuks Offroad. This is actually really cool. You don't have to use like a rubber glove and gotta cut holes in the fingers to put it on there. This is like OEM quality stuff. It's really good. I'll go ahead and show y'all how to install these two pieces into the transfer case shifter housing. So right here, I have an exploded view of the front of the transfer case, the shifter housing. I'm actually doing a transfer case rebuild right now, and I thought it would be a really good opportunity to show y'all what this looks like on the inside. See, I have the two forks placed inside of the housing, and I have this opened up so y'all can see pretty well. I'm gonna show y'all the Brass Shifter Sheet first. It's actually really easy to put in. You can see the two pins right here. So this cutaway, you'll actually drop this in. You'll see that this one will want to make it by and the other one won't, so you'll pull it and you'll kind of put it in at an angle. It'll drop down past there. When you line up this other notch with this pin, reach down and pull it back in and it will drop right into place. You can take your stock shifter and you can drop it down, in. You'll take your ring, you have your spring, you'll put it in there, lined up, push down, and twist, boom. With the original shifter in place, if you notice, the stick only allows you to move one fork or the other fork. So right now, I'm moving only this outside fork, and it swings by the outside of this other fork. Or I can shift over and do this. It doesn't allow you to get a true neutral because this stick will be on one shaft or the other. You can't just lock them both into a neutral position truly, or get an actual low. Now, the twin stick goes in a little bit different. Take this old one back out first. You use like a little bitty pick and you can reach down in there and you can grab it, bring it up past that little pin and straight out. That's how you get the old one out. Well, the old one's like rubber. You can actually like squeeze it and pull it out, not a big deal. But this, you'll go in kind of the same way. You drop it in, have that pin, but you see these, you can probably see the little lift edges. You'll rotate this until they are underneath the pins. So then you'll take it with the grooves lined up there and you'll drop it in. Your transfer case will be in neutral. You're gonna kind of have to move these sticks a little bit independent of each other, and make sure to put some axle grease on this O-ring. Hardest part is getting these two sticks lined up to meet the shifter or the forks inside. And bam, there you go. Then you'll take your Allens. You can move the sticks a little bit to get them out of your way. You'll take the Allen key and you'll screw it down in on the locking plate. Just like this. Just tighten her up. And then slide your double rubber boot down. They do not have a top molded shifter boot yet. They are still in the process of making that. So I'll definitely be sure to get a hold of one of those to show you guys. But now let me show you the operation of this twin stick, how it moves these forks. So your passenger side fork is what is going to engage your four-wheel drive. Well, actually your front output shaft. This front fork is all the way forward, so the front output shaft will be disengaged from the rear output shaft. Now if you slide it forward, it'll slide this fork back, locking the collar onto the front output shaft and the rear output shaft, making them engaged into one. And then your driver's side is what's going to engage your low and high gear. So you'll have like two-wheel low and two-wheel high and four-wheel high and four-wheel low. And then this right here will just disengage. And then you can lock this in the middle and you'll get a true neutral. So here's the passenger side stick. You can see it moving. And then here is your driver's side stick. See, you can actually move them independently of one another. And now right here, you can see all these little ridges. Well, on the outside of this stick, of this shifter fork, and this shifter fork, there are two springs with detent balls that lock it, so that way it's like click, click. That way you know that you're in gear. And then right here in the middle, you can see there's one notch. That is because there is a detent ball in between them. And what that detent ball pretty much does is when one shaft rolls over, the detent ball will lock this shaft in place, not allowing it to move. but this one will be able to move. And then once this inside one moves, it'll lock this shaft. You have to remove that center detent in order to move these together at the same time. That is the modification that you have to do to be able to use this twin stick. This center detent ball bearing, which I'll show you right now. So here are your 3 detent balls. There's one on the outside of each stick, and then there's a third one that goes in the middle. That's the one that you have to remove. Well guys, I just really wanted to take the time to show you the difference between a single stick shifter and the dual stick. Also, the upgraded brass shifter sheath that Zuks Offroad offers is an upgrade for, you know, the stock polyurethane rubber one. I'm in the middle of doing a transfer case rebuild, and I just saw it as a really good opportunity to show you all the difference. There are a lot of guys that build their own twin sticks, but this one is just really cool how it's just got its own billet aluminum housing, and the sticks are in place like that, and it's got a locking piece with the rubber O-ring and molded dual boot. It's just really, really cool product. Something that Zuks Offroad sent me to kind of showcase to y'all. I really hope this was content that y'all enjoyed watching. If it was, be sure to hit a like. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so that way you can stay up to date. And if you would, YouTube has a little feature, the little bell icon. You guys click it. Every single time I put out a new video, it'll notify you guys so that way you can just stay on point instead of having to continuously come back and forth to the channel. Until next time, peace.